Victoria Hanscom, a security editor at Centurion Media, and I'm here in Dubai for Intersec 2026. I'm speaking with Andrew Elvish, Vice President of Marketing at Genetec. So Andrew, great to see you. How are you?
I'm great, Victoria. It's wonderful to be here at Intersec 2026.
Yeah, definitely. It's great to see you showing how busy it is. See all the innovations that are on display here.
Yeah, it's been a great show so far.
Yeah, for sure. So Andrew, could you tell me why it is, again, so important to come here to Intersec and really why that helps you to engage with your partners and customers in the Middle East region?
Intersec is and has been for many years the real meeting place for security professionals, manufacturers across the entire Middle East and Africa market. We've been coming for many, many years, well over a decade. And we just find it brings together people, gets ideas flowing, gets conversations happening. It's a strong mix of professionals who are looking to bid out projects. There's channel partners here, manufacturers like Genetec, but of course there's also journalists like yourself, and it's great because we get to see the bigger sweep of what's going on in the Middle East, trends that are happening, and how we can better address the needs of the Middle Eastern end user and channel partner. And we attend other Intersec shows like in Saudi Arabia, and we see the same thing. Really, it captures the energy of the market.
So speaking of trends, you've recently released your 2026 State of Physical Security report. Can you tell me a little bit about the key findings that you're sharing here at Intersec?
Yeah, the State of Physical Security 2026, coincidentally right in front of us on the table. It's been a really interesting year for this report, Victoria. Typically, we aim to have about 5,500, 5,700, responses to this. This year, the industry really responded in force, and we had almost 8,000 responses to this year's survey. So that's a really big sample across a wide range of regions. So we got a really clear picture of a period in time that's quite unique in the industry. I'd say the biggest change that we're tracking here is twofold. One is a technological and one is more of an organizational change. I'll start with the organizational change. We've been seeing IT becoming a much bigger player in the buying process of physical security systems for corporations, for governments, and other types of organizations. But what we've seen this year is that change is kind of done. I think we've seen a complete blending of both physical security professionals and IT professionals sharing really good ideas both ways. But what we've seen now is with this change, physical security and the work that our integrators and end users do is becoming much more strategic to the overall operations of a corporation. It's no longer just about retrospective, somebody stole something or there was a slip and fall. All very important things to document, but now people are looking at it a little differently. How can we plan our business better? How can we be more resilient to unexpected things that happen? How can we be more efficient? And how can we achieve the outcomes that we're after in a more efficient way? So this has really changed how physical security is seen within organizations. It's seen as actually an enterprise shaping tool. It's a tool that enterprises use to understand themselves. So that was one big thing we saw. The other big thing we saw is more technological. And that big technological change is that in the past, everybody said their big priority for the coming year was upgrading their access control technology, because most access control technology on the market is a little 1980s in its technology footing. So, there's cyber risk, there's a lot of bad stuff going on in the access control space, so that's always number one. Number two, not surprisingly, was almost always video surveillance, except this year. Do you know what it was this year? I bet you could guess. Artificial intelligence. Everybody is so it's the first time artificial intelligence was sort of for the last 2 years since ChatGPT came out. It was kind of down number 5 or number 6, so this year it shot up to number 2. That's a big change. So what that signals to us is there's a real appetite, especially for channel partners, to educate, support, and guide end users on what bringing AI into physical security workflows means. So this is a big change, and we're going to be tracking it closely, and we're showing some of our new AI innovations on the booth here at Genetec.
Yeah, so one of the points you mentioned there was just about security and how that can drive business outcomes as well. So I do want to delve a little bit deeper into that. How do you think that trend is going to continue over the next 12 months?
Well, I think that trend is going to continue far beyond 12 months. I think it's a very durable change in the sort of understanding of what physical security is about. I mean, as young as I look, Victoria, I've been in the industry for a while, and I've been with Genetec for 14 years, and over that period, I've seen the mindset shift from physical security being seen as sort of a cost of doing business, analogous to like plumbing or air conditioning in a building. You know, you just have to have it, fire suppression, to understanding that physical security is different than those things. Those are all very important things, by the way. I'm not passing value judgments, but what people are saying is they're realizing that, wait, physical security and physical security professionals are really the keepers of the corporate IoT. And there's a wealth of information in that. So we're seeing professionals, we're seeing end users come to us wanting integrations with their HR tools, wanting deeper integration with their data visualizations tools like Power BI or Workday. They're wanting to do more with leveraging access control and the unification with video and license plate recognition to do more understanding of peak capacity times. How can they provide better experiences for visitors to their airports or citizens of their cities? This is a really big change in terms of how people are using technology. So gone are the days of, just talking about megapixels and, compression algorithms, all important, but nobody really cares as much about those because it's table stakes. What they care about is what can we do with this data? And so that's where we're seeing channel partners really bring their sort of unique skills to the table, because they can work with the end user and with manufacturers like Genetec, hopefully only Genetec, and really design systems that meet the needs of end users in this more sophisticated mindset. It's very exciting for a software developer to see that happening.
Of course. And finally, one last question for you. What's a piece of advice you'd like to share with security leaders going forward and helping them to prepare for the rest of 2026?
I'm going to sound like a broken record, Victoria. You and I have talked in the past, but cybersecurity must always be at the top of your list. Genetec, for years, we've been beating the drum of the security of security. So the cybersecurity of physical security. You never want your physical security network to be a vector of attack. And it's not just about, using trustworthy cameras and good hygiene around your access control. It's about being vigilant all the time. It's about demanding compliance to strict regulations around cybersecurity best practices. ISO 27001, SOC 2 Type 2, all the various organizational, sort of government regulations that help us be safer. Physical security professionals cannot afford to lose sight of that, because one misstep at an end user site and you're going to have a cyber attack, you're going to become a vector of that attack into the organization. Not only will it destroy your reputation, but it will further sort of set back the physical security space as seen as sort of not as up to date as the IT space. So we really have to hold up our side and do the work that needs to be done, as tough as it is and sometimes as costly as it is, to make sure cybersecurity remains top of mind for all physical security professionals.
Sure. Thank you so much, Andrew. Great to speak with you.
It was my pleasure, Victoria.